What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you tuning in. We got to talk a little bit about Arizona State. Now, obviously, it is a big weekend for the Sun Devils getting ready to square off against Arizona. Huge rivalry football game to wrap up the regular season. Sun Devils are having a good year despite kind of all the injuries, all the turnover. They're sitting at 8-3, which I think if at the beginning of the year you said that they were going to lose Sam Levitt for the season, no more Cam Scattaboo, Jordan Tyson was going to be in and out of the lineup, you're signing up for an 8-3 year, and to have an outside shot still of making the Big 12 title game. Same breath, Arizona's having an incredible kind of breakthrough year here in Brett Ren's second year, kind of leading the way over there for the Wildcats. They look pretty solid too. Obviously got a heck of a quarterback. It should be a great game. I kind of want to zoom out to a little bit bigger picture, though, for ASU. So, like I said, very small, but an outside shot of still making the Big 12 title game. Really, it looks like, for all anyone's worth, it's going to be BYU versus Texas Tech, unless something really unexpected kind of gets thrown into the mix. Now, Texas Tech's, I think, basically like guaranteed at this point. BYU rolling, have a really good shot of making it. So Arizona State has the best odds of someone not named those two of making it, but they would have to win this weekend in a game where they're only projected to win by a 1.5. That means on a neutral site, Arizona probably be favored by a 1.5. You normally get 3 points for the home team. So pretty close game. Vegas is pretty much calling this just about a toss-up. So you're a 1.5 favorite. You'd have to win that one. This is going to be a very close battle. And then you would need BYU to just wet the bed at UCF, who's not very good, who barely just beat an Oklahoma State team who's really not very good. And they were down 14-0 at halftime in that game before coming storming back to win 17-14. So you need that to happen. Oh, by the way, BYU's favored by 17.5 points in that one. So not likely. You don't often see upsets like that. But, it could happen. I wouldn't hold my breath, but even still, even if it doesn't, you go 9-3 in the regular season, you're still going to make a pretty solid bowl game. So was looking at the projections. There's 3 bowl games right now that kind of they would be slotted at and kind of looked at as kind of the odds of where they would go. Number 1 would be the Las Vegas Bowl, where they would, looks like, potentially play Nebraska. 2 would be the Sun Bowl. 3 would be the Holiday Bowl. Now, in both of those, the odds would be that they would play Penn State with an outside chance that they would play Syracuse in the Holiday Bowl. Penn State would be a solid one because that's a good name brand. That's a good thing for the program to play something like that and could build off of. Nebraska's got history and tradition, but it's not anything very recent. I don't know if Syracuse pushes the needle for any program to really play too much against or kind of get the people excited, which brings me to the real thing about what is going to be happening here in the next few weeks for Arizona State. And it's going to be very telling. We talked about Kenny Dillingham installing a different culture there with the Sun Devils and kind of this, it was a weird thing that happened for them compared to the rest of college football that despite getting knocked out of the playoffs last year and kind of the run that came short, a lot of other teams, the moment that they were knocked out, their players hit the portal, were looking for a payday, they went elsewhere, and a lot of people thought initially you were going to lose a lot of guys from Arizona State, that Jordan Tyson was going to go get his money somewhere, that Sam Levitt was going to go get his money somewhere, a number of these other guys. Instead, they barely lost anybody to the portal. They were able to go out and get a lot of the guys that they like for the portal, and they put together another really solid class. And it spoke to the belief that the players had in Kenny Dillingham and in this program and wanting to play for him and to be there. Now, it's easy to say that when things are going high, when you make the college football playoffs and things are going well. We're about to see how much of that culture has really been installed, how much truth there really is to that. regardless if they win this game or not, though if they lose, it'll be a little bit more telling because it'll be a little bit more turbulence, kind of what's going on. At 8-4, you're probably in a lesser bowl game. You lose your rivalry game, the last game of the year. But even say that they do win this week in a close game, 9-3, but BYU wins, they don't make the Big 12 title game. They're not going to the playoffs. They go to one of these bowl games that are solid. But question is, we saw it all last year, the number of guys that are willing to hit the portal and they're like, I'm not playing. I'm not going to go to Shreveport, Louisiana and go play in some bowl game. I'm not going to go there. We had literally an entire team that had lost so many kids to the portal. They had made a bowl game, but they couldn't play in it. So they had to forfeit playing in a bowl game, and that entire team had to get replaced. I think it was Marshall, maybe. So what happens? How much of this culture has really been established? How much are these kids bought in? Again, it's easy to do it when things are going well. If they miss out on the playoffs, if they miss out on this bowl game, if things are sitting there and they look around, they're like, this was cool. It's fun going to school here. I can make $500,000 though if I hop over here. Or I can make $250,000 if I decide to go play for this school, that school, or see what's out there. It's really, really hard to judge a kid about the idea of, yeah, that's my school. I want you to go there. I want you to like be invested in everything. When on this hand, your college career is 4 years, maybe 5 if you redshirt, and you have the opportunity of making $250,000 a year if you decide to hop over to a SEC school and some of these schools that are going to pay you by the truckload. What is Sam Levitt's worth on the open market? He's already heard now. He says he's committed. What's his worth right now on the open market? A lot is the answer. A lot. There's some of these SEC schools that would pay an exorbitant amount to try and get him there. I mean, OU just paid, what was it, about $1.5 million to get John Mateer, who's been okay this year after his hand surgery and after his injury. But Levitt not going to make that much if he decide to hop over. I mean, Miami's going to be looking for a new quarterback. Miami got some deep pockets. So that is going to be the true test of what Kenny Dillingham has been able to do for Arizona State. Again, it's easy to have guys feeling good and bought in when things are going well, when it looks up on the uptick. But when things go bad, that's when you're going to find out whether or not these kids are really bought into him, into the school, into the vision, to the program. Because not a lot of kids are like that. There's a couple schools, there's a couple spots still where people are bought in to that coach and that program and the belief that they are still teaching. But those schools are the exception. They are not the rule. And in about a week, maybe 2 weeks at most, we're going to find out whether or not these kids and Arizona State is one of those exceptions across college football where people really are bought in, or they're just like everyone else, that if things don't go perfectly, the entire roster is going to become flipped over and you're going to see what's left of it. That's not even to say, too, when we talk about the entire roster, is Kenny Dillingham still going to be here? I mean, he's saying all the right things, but got to be a lot of money out there. Florida's still looming. There's still Penn State. There's still a few of these schools that could offer him a ton of money. It sure seems like he is happy and wants to be here and wants to win there. But we're going to understand a lot more about this program here in about 10 days. Where it is, the state of it, how much these kids believe in it, what are the chances that this is going to be a sustained success, or if it's going to be a flash in the pan, few good years. And if that's what it is, enjoy it for what it's worth, because that's more than a lot of schools and a lot of programs get. But it can be some tough times, some tough answers, a long time looking in the mirror for a lot of these kids. And we're going to find out just how much Kenny Dillingham has really kind of cemented his vision to these players and what the culture is. That's the plain and simple. We're about to find out what the culture really is at Arizona State. Stay tuned.